Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of Two Shot Tuesday. I am one of your hosts. My name is Jason Riley. You can tell because I'm wearing my old man cardigan sweater, and I am with the young, hip host, Barry T. Nixon, in a sweet button down.
Oh, thanks, Jay. That's a hell of an intro. Yeah, this is my kind of like Harvard rowing shirt. That's what it kind of looks like, but it's not. It's it's kind of fun though. I was going for more of a scholastic look today.
You really are. You're pulling it off. It's like you ripped from an episode of Saved by the Bell, updated for the 21st century. I feel like I'm more of a Mr. Belding. This is actually we're deep into the, late fall, soon to be winter season. And I have this sweater that I bought last year. I think it's an Old Navy or it's a Banana Republic. And I put it on. It's just so comfortable. It blends right into the background there, the wall with the green on green, but it's my grandpa's sweater, and it makes me feel good. I have pockets to put things in, too. It's got little pockets.
The only thing that gives me a little bit of pause is that you're not able to tell me the difference between Old Navy and Banana Republic. Those are two very different quality items.
Yeah.
Again, this is one more thing that always surprises me about you, Jay. You don't necessarily put too much weight into the brand names. And we've talked about this on the broadcast many a time. And if our viewers want to go back into the catalog, talk about that, because we're not going to do it again. But again, this is just something that.
But I will touch on this, and I will say that there was a Banana Republic store and an Old Navy store, and I went in, I was buying sweaters because I made an effort last year to purchase sweaters because I really don't wear sweaters or have sweaters. Now I do, thanks to last year's shopping, and I'm just bringing them out again. And anyway, we're getting deep into kind of unnecessary things, but there are a couple. I do too.
And if I just have to. A man from Sudbury is not accustomed to wearing or purchasing sweaters. Again, this is another mind blower, Jay.
Maybe I wore too many of them as a kid, and I rebelled against them. I just didn't love the idea of pulling things over my head as that kind of sweater.
That's
I
fair.
don't wear
turtlenecks. Can be dangerous.
It's true.
You could get stuck under there, dude. Can't breathe. Anyway, let's continue on. Before we get too deep, let's have our first shot. Yeah. Let's go. You did say the first one was going to be in my honor, Jay, so I can't wait to hear this toast.
Absolutely, because we're ready to record. Suddenly you sent this going, I can't find the recording session in my calendar anywhere. You just assumed that you had misplaced it. I had not set it up for you, and that was my mistake. And so for being a patient, understanding person, I visited my local today, and I picked up some of the original Tullamore Dew, one of our favorites. I haven't had it in the house for a while, and I'm going to do the first shot of the bottle, the first two really, but this one specifically in your honor. What have you got?
Well, I appreciate you, Jay, and I'm sticking with the Bareface whiskey that we discovered some time ago at Whiskey Global. So it's still going, and I absolutely love it. It's so tasty.
Nice.
Cheers to you. That is delicious. All right, before we get too far afield, I do want to make mention of something that I'm very excited about.
I could tell.
Yeah.
Just coming in. Just your energy is just there.
I'm busting, Jay.
Yeah.
Linda and I have procured tickets to see a hip-hop legend who is coming to town before Santa squeezes his big old butt down the chimney. We're going to see 50 Cent. And I'm telling you right now, when he sings Pimp Live, there will not be a dry eye in the house. Because everyone there is going to be the same age, late 40s, 50, perfect. And everyone knows that song. The fact that he incorporated a steel drum into a hip-hop track has still never been replicated, to my knowledge. And even if it were, it's never been done as well as he did it. So I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. He's coming to Rebel. Only 2,500 people, Jay.
Yeah.
Very intimate setting for a legend like him.
I mean, I think that's kind of probably what he's pulling these days.
Now let's not be unkind.
I don't want to be unkind. And I got to say, Fiddy sounds more like an executive producer, Linda LeBrun choice that you are the plus one for. I would imagine she found this for you.
No, I'm the one who drove the bus on this one. Yeah.
For Fiddy? What made you now? This is a shock to our friendship.
Really?
And it's not often that a shock like this kind of rockets in and reverberates through.
Yeah.
But I would have never pictured 50 Cent on your playlist.
Yeah, nor would I have ever suspected that you had trouble buying sweaters. So this is just like that in reverse. It's just
Okay.
incredible.
Okay. It's shocking
It's shocking.
revelations is what you
Yeah,
can say. Okay. But
totally.
tell me, when did this love affair with 50 Cent start? Was it cemented at the Super Bowl a couple of years ago when he made an appearance?
I mean, I don't know if it was cemented then. I always enjoyed his music, but I really love that song "Pimp." I got to be
Okay.
quite honest with you.
That's what you
To
want to
me,
hear.
it's one of the best, if not the best, hip hop song ever recorded. He's has a whole bunch of other ones, which I can't wait to hear live, but that one in particular, I just it always resonated. I'm not a pimp, but I can
No,
put
but
my mind. When you hear it, it's like you've been
we're all pimps.
transported into this.
Yeah,
We're all pimps,
that's
and
right.
he was just. It's just an awesome track. It really is. And the steel
And
drum,
you
Jay.
need to hear it live. So I hope the steel drum is there because that is a central part of that song.
I was asking Linda about that. She suspects it will be there, but it will be pre-recorded because
Could
he's probably
be.
not going to lug a steel drum to Rebel nightclub.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see.
me too.
Yeah.
What are the seats like
Well,
for
there's no seats.
50?
It's general admission.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
all
how
general
Rebel
admission.
works.
Yeah, there's no tiers of VIP. There is an upper level where you could get up to, but it's basically first come, first serve. But there's only 2,500 people. So that's pretty cool. Like, we're not going to see him at Scotiabank or some other giant venue where you might not
That's
even be
great.
able to see him. We're
Yeah.
actually going to be able to see him. So
You'll be
that's going to
there.
be
You'll
pretty
be
cool.
right close to Fiddy.
We'll be right there. And believe you
Okay.
me, there will be a full review at a later date once we enjoy that show. And Jay,
I
it's
can't
cool.
wait.
It's very cool to see somebody of this level at such a small venue.
Now, if you get close enough
Mhm.
during a break in the songs, maybe you can ask him if he wants to be on the show.
I definitely will ask
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. Flash the
Yeah.
QR code so
Yeah,
he can
he'll
add
love
us
that.
on YouTube because we do
Yes,
wherever we go. We've got a QR code on our phones.
that's
Another
right.
idea of yours, an executive producer, Linda LeBrun, that's
It's
on our
her idea,
phones.
yeah.
If you run into us, please ask us, and we'll be happy to. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, you can become a subscriber instantly. And let me just mention, it's 100% free.
Yes, it is, and
Yeah.
I witnessed your magic with the QR code when we were at the Whiskey Global event. It was unbelievable. I was on set at Glengarry Glen Ross. You were Alec Baldwin, you were closing, and you weren't taking no for an answer, but you did it in the most polite, amazingly smooth way. You know how to finesse situations. That's what you're about.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you know what, Barry? Thank you for saying that. And let me say that we made some friends there who have now
we did.
follow us on our socials. They've commented. The Bareface Whiskey has commented because we've talked about
Beautiful.
how much we enjoy that.
It's great.
Dew commented. I don't know if you saw that. They commented about
Yeah,
because we talked about them as well. And so I think in their honor now, we should raise shot number 2 since we're drinking one from each of them.
100%. Sounds perfect.
Bareface, Tullamore Dew.
Cheers
Cheers.
to you.
That's so good. The
Mm,
notes are
it really
singing.
is.
It's like 50 Cent in my mouth. Well, that's awkward to say.
Well done. I love
That's
that. I thought you were going
awkward to say.
I thought
Yeah,
you were going to say like a Christmas, like an entire choir was in your mouth. That might
that's
have
what
been
I
even more
imagined
strange.
50 Cent would be in my mouth. Okay, let's talk about something else. Let's
Sure.
talk about not that long ago. In fact, it was just in our last episode, we were talking about Shin Godzilla versus Into the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
And Barry, we made the decision. You watched In the Mouth of Madness, in or into?
It's just in.
In
But
the Mouth of Madness,
if you're
not
into it,
into.
you could say into. I mean, it's
Yeah.
up to you.
I just want to hear, how did it go? A quick update for our audience, including,
Sure.
yeah, how did the movie go? Was that the right pick for you?
It really was. And thank you once again for taking on that enormous responsibility for selecting my entertainment for that evening. It was
What I'm
great.
here for. Yeah.
Yeah. In the Mouth of Madness, if you're thinking about picking it up in 4K, don't even think about it. Just go ahead and slam the buy button. It looks and sounds fantastic. There's lots of really cool supplemental material, as I always sing the praises of the non-disc swag that's included
Yeah, you
with
like
Arrow
that.
releases, and this one is no different. I also did
Most
watch
Arrow
Shin.
releases. We talked about my Spawn,
Most,
unfortunately. Yeah,
most.
but carry on.
Yeah, they kind of didn't deliver with Spawn, but we also touched on that as to 1,000 reasons why
Yeah.
they didn't do that.
Yeah, carry on. Now let's hear
Okay.
about the other Shin Godzilla, did you end up watching that at all? And do you
I
wanna
did.
give a quick review to our audience on that?
I will. Shin Godzilla. I read somewhere that it was basically a remake of the very first one that came out in the 50s.
And?
And it is sort of that story. Nobody knows what this creature is. It somehow pulls itself out of Tokyo Bay, starts to, at first, it's just kind of slithering. But as the movie goes on, it starts to evolve and then eventually takes the form of the Godzilla that we're all familiar with. But not at first. At first, it's just kind of like a slug almost,
Really?
where its
Okay.
arms hadn't even fully, yeah, grown out. Has a long tail. Its eyes look a bit weird, but it starts to grow and become the Godzilla that we know, but it's very much the villain.
Yeah,
Versus in -1, it didn't really have that. It wasn't so much the villain, if I recall
right.
correctly. And I think, yeah,
Yeah.
you can back me up on this.
Yeah,
I
it was
enjoyed,
like an anti-hero.
yeah, exactly. So you did say, don't have any preconceived notions. I tried not to, but I did find myself thinking about the other movie. I got to be honest. There were
Okay.
parts of it that, like, this one was, it was very much kind of like okay, the militaries that they're in the war room, they're trying to decide what to do. Versus in -1, there was like that whole kind of story of the guy who ends up getting a sudden family after his own family had been wiped out. And so there was more of like a heart in -1 versus this one.
Mhm.
I felt didn't really have a lot of heart. I didn't care about any of the non-human characters, and I barely cared about Godzilla. So I don't know.
Yeah. How long is he a slug for in the movie? Much of it?
Long enough that you start to notice, why is he still a slug?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
care for
it's
that
like,
because 'cause you're paying for Godzilla, you're not slug of Godzilla, like,
yeah, that's
the
what I
the
would
yeah,
have thought too.
yeah,
So Shin Godzilla, yeah, it's an interesting entry. Is it better than -1? I don't think so. I'd
okay,
say it's 3 out of 5.
okay. Well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to borrow it from you at some point because that
sure.
would be I do wanna see it as a
Yeah,
completist. I wouldn't mind
yeah. You
having a
can
look at that.
borrow it, and you can just borrow it long term if you wish.
Okay, well said. All right, 3 out
Yeah,
of 5.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. I think it's time for us to go to rip from the headlines because
Let's
that's
do
what
it.
we do. It's time to give you your news, our listeners and viewers.
Yeah.
You've sent a few through again from our friends at bbc.com. If you're going to get your news anywhere, but here, get it from bbc.com. All right, let's look at this first one. Barry,
Hmm.
stone tool discovery suggests very first humans were inventors.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
thought that was interesting.
not just cavemen, but actually like thinking, like they're coming up with new things. That makes it sound like they did something with purpose. How would you
Yeah.
interpret that?
Yeah. I think it completely makes sense because otherwise, how did we get to where we are today if we didn't have our very, very early ancestors thinking
Like the
outside the
very
box?
first ones. Like
You know what I mean?
this says they didn't discover it. They didn't like discover a stone shovel, but they were in need of a shovel. They found something that sort of behaved like a shovel, is what we're
Exactly.
hearing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the type of shovel that you might procure at Canadian Tire today, but it's something that could have moved dirt back in their time.
What might they have called a shovel when they first discovered it?
That's good. I don't
I
know. I'm
was
not even sure at this stage they had language. They might have still been kind of grunting and they might even still have been covered in hair. Like, remember that movie Quest for Fire
yeah,
where
I
they tried
do.
to yeah. So it
Yeah.
might have been in that stage where they were just sort of grunting and pointing. A lot of
What about
pointing, I think, back then.
Hand Plus? If I had discovered it and
Hmm.
I came to you and said, "Barry, I found this thing. It helps us move the dirt like our hands, but it doesn't make our hands hurt, and I'm gonna call it Hand Plus." What would
I
you have
love it.
said?
I would have
Because
said, if
shovel
I was
is
on,
not really there. Like it's just shoving the dirt. I get it. You're shoving the dirt, but Hand Plus. So you would have supported me on Hand Plus if I would have pitched that around the village?
I would have been so excited. I would have built the biggest bonfire in your honor. And, we
Nice.
would have had
Invented it.
an enormous pig roast in your honor
Yeah.
because you came up with something before language even.
And why would you have called it a bonfire? What made it a
Huh.
bonfire? I'm
That's
wondering, think about
another
that.
good question.
Yeah,
Huh.
what did that? What made it a bonfire?
Yeah. What's a bon? I don't know.
Like it's bon in French, it's bon. Maybe French was the first language. It's a good
Good.
fire. Yeah,
Good
and so there was
fire.
like
Yeah.
part French, part English, and that came together to form our language as a bonfire,
I
bonfire.
mean, I think we're really onto something here.
I think we're really piecing together these things. I've got one
Yeah.
more rip from the headlines if we've
Let's
taken
do it.
that one as far as we can.
Yeah, I think we
All
have.
right.
Yeah.
How about this? It's a question. Is this the world's wildest Airbnb? And it's a
Yeah.
picture, I'll show it, of it looks like something floating in the Arctic Ocean.
Yeah, I
There's a
went
little bit of
a
our
touch
text.
beyond the headline for this one, Jay. That's actually in
Yeah.
Greenland.
All right. That's in Greenland.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in
Greenland.
Greenland.
Something's floating, a floating house in Greenland.
Mm-hmm.
And the
You can
question is,
Airbnb.
you
Yeah.
went beyond the headline. So what is it? Is this, you can actually Airbnb it?
You can,
How much
apparently.
is
Now,
it?
I didn't go too deep. I just
No,
went
you
deep enough to
shouldn't.
find out where the heck it was, and it turns out it's Greenland, or
Okay.
Greenland, if you will.
Yeah. Would you ever Airbnb a floating house in a glacial area?
I think I'm not opposed to it. I've never Airbnb'd anything, but I would be open to
Really?
it.
That's
Yeah, never.
interesting. You
Yeah,
never. Aldo Roma and I
Yes.
have. Executive producer Aldo Roma and I did in the Cayman Islands in 2020, right
Wow.
before the pandemic, literally days before the pandemic descended on us. Rented, this was like a professional Airbnb where they had
Yeah.
a unit in a condo and they just rented it out again and again and again. It was a nice experience, actually. We didn't have a problem with it.
Well, that's cool.
It
So
wasn't
you'd
floating.
recommend?
Yeah, it wasn't floating.
It
was
wasn't
grounded.
floating, yeah.
Yeah. So one more step. I wonder how you get to an Airbnb that's floating in the water. How would you?
I would imagine you would either paddle or you get there by some kind of one of those biplanes that
Yeah.
have the pontoons, so you can land in the lake.
Yeah. Now, could
Yeah.
you Uber that? Imagine that you Uber a pontoon plane
Oh,
and then you
they might have that.
Airbnb a house
Yeah.
floating.
In Greenland, they might have that. Or else, how else
Yeah.
would you do it?
And then you skip the dishes in some dinner. Like you're doing everything on apps, delivery apps, residential apps, traveling apps. I'm going beyond the headline with you here.
Yeah, you certainly are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have some, barbecued reindeer in Greenland, because I think that's one of the things that they do enjoy up there.
They do? They eat barbecued
Yeah.
reindeer?
I don't know if it's barbecued. I assume that it is.
You could
I think
barbecue it,
fire is
guess.
involved
Yeah.
in the cooking at some point.
A
Maybe
bonfire.
not a bonfire. Yeah, and everyone is still trying to figure out tools, and they're all covered in hair.
Yeah.
The end.
Hand plus. I think that's what we're going to call the shovel
Hand
from now
plus.
on. Hand
That should be the name of this
plus.
episode.
It might be.
Yeah. Well, Jay, I think that is our time. Once again, there's so many things we cannot wait, I should say, to touch on for the future. We know there's a lot happening. We're not able to say anything. We have a gag order in effect, but some super exciting things are happening here.
Get ready.
And I can't wait to buckle in and join you for that. We should mention that the movie guy is returning for a future review, and we're going to be talking about. Do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
Should we mention this?
It's the new Predator movie. It's actually going to be our very next episode that comes out.
Yeah.
This movie's been out for
Badlands.
Badlands. This movie's been out for a little while now. You guys
has.
checked it out. You went to see it, and now you're going to be ready. You've formulated an opinion, and you're going to be ready to share that with our audience.
Yes.
Should they check it out? Should they not check it out? Is this something? Maybe it's a holiday movie. I don't know. You're going to tell us. Once again, I haven't seen it, so I'm going to rely on you and the movie guy, Rob Peets.
That's
Next
perfect.
episode. It's coming up.
We can't wait. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Two Shot Tuesday signing off for another week, but we will be back with you next Tuesday as we always are. Jay, great to see you. I love the sweater.
Thank you for listening to Two Shot Tuesday. The show is produced by Barry and I and edited by me. If you have yet to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, please take a second to do so now. It helps us grow, and it helps new audiences to find the show. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Two Shot Tuesday and on Twitter at Two Shot Tuesday Podcast. Stop by, give us a follow, leave us a comment, and share your favorite episodes. If you have a question you'd like featured on the show, you can send us a text at 647-486-4848. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.